Well, now that I've seen Zack Snyder's Justice League, the time has come to rank all 9 DCEU movies worst to best. Yeah, 9, not 10. Why? You saw it on the thumbnail. There is no theatrical cut of Justice League. There is only the Snyder cut, which did upset this ranking, and I'm excited to dive into that with you. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my ranking of all 9 DCEU films with Zack Snyder's Justice League, worst to best. How would you rank all 9 of these DCEU movies? And if you want to do 10 and throw in the theatrical cut, that's fine. You could do that right there in the comments. I look forward to your rankings, and I'm just letting you know there will be spoilers for just about all the movies I'm going to talk about, including Zack Snyder's Justice League. So you have been warned beforehand. I can't wait for your rankings. Right now, let's dive into mine. Number 9, Suicide Squad. This one is probably always gonna be in last place for me. The positives with this movie is definitely Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn and Will Smith as Deadshot. They are fun to watch, they're dynamic on the screen, they elevate this movie above where it would completely fall if they weren't in it. They do great jobs in their roles. Cool concepts exist in this movie. I love the Batman flashbacks, the Flash cameo. So there are things in this movie that I think are good and they are fun. But one of the big drags on the potential of this movie is the villain. It just was so over-the-top generic. Does that even make sense? It was just the generic Skybeam and the hula dance to make the Skybeam and make the magical thing happen. I don't know. Like, that in itself was incredibly generic. And one of my other problems is the Jared Leto Joker. I've always said it a million times over. Do I like this Joker? Do I hate this Joker? I keep landing on not liking this Joker, but then I realize I really haven't seen this Joker. I haven't seen this Joker actually have potential. It would have been great to have him be the villain. Now we got Zack Snyder's Justice League. And with, Joker being in there 5 minutes or less, I just watched that, my jaw hit the ground, and I went, okay, I think I like this Joker, and I need more. And it highlights another problem with Suicide Squad. Why was there not more of this Joker? I think more of this Joker, having more characters for him to interact with, giving him more to do, could have fleshed out this Joker more than we got. And I just feel like so many of the choices in this movie are reactionary. Audiences reacted a certain way to BVS. This movie was re-edited so many times, and so it feels like it's not comfortable in its own skin. It kind of feels like it's trying to be the little bit darker DC version of Guardians of the Galaxy. So rather than being comfortable in itself, it's not comfortable in itself, and I feel like that comes through on screen. So that's kind of how I feel about this movie and why it has landed where it's landed. Number 8, Birds of Prey. This is a movie that I enjoyed a lot more than Suicide Squad. One of my big problems with Suicide Squad is meeting the team, because they just tried to do it in like 3 different montages to bring the team together. So here you have Harley Quinn, you have the Birds of Prey, and I feel like they did a much better job of us meeting the characters as the story progresses and bringing the Birds of Prey together and Harley Quinn with them at the end. So it was a nice little payoff by the time we got to the end of the movie and we had the Birds of Prey. And I felt like I knew the characters pretty well. So I think it did a better job than Suicide Squad of bringing those characters in. Margot Robbie is brilliant as Harley Quinn. I'm thinking Batman the Animated Series, how great was it that Harley Quinn got the hyena? So and she named it Bruce. You've got to be kidding me. She doesn't know that Bruce Wayne is Batman, but she thought he was hunky, and she named the hyena after Bruce. That was pretty hilarious. And the action is pretty darn good in this movie. So there's a lot of things in this movie that I thought were good. I love Ewan McGregor as Black Mask. I do feel like Zsasz was wasted, but that's because in the Batman Arkham games, when I do the missions with Zsasz, that guy freaks me out. So I felt like he was wasted. I'm sad that they killed Black Mask. That's depressing. That's a big Batman villain. I'd like to have seen more of Ewan McGregor as that character. Now the potential of that is killed off. So that does actually make me kind of sad, but that is a huge compliment to Ewan McGregor. So there's a lot of things about this movie that I do find fun. A lot of things about this movie that I do enjoy, but it's just not up there as one of my favorites. Number 7, Wonder Woman 1984. This is a movie that I definitely want to rank higher than I do, and it's because the concept and the idea behind this movie I like. I mean, you get it because it's about the truth, and it's what Jesus said. The truth will set you free. So what we see is that if the truth makes you free, then a lie, it destroys. It steals, kills, and destroys. And we see that picture played out so well in this movie, from Diana as a kid cheating in the games and not allowed to win because it was a false victory, and learning the lesson, a lie is a shortcut, you can't take the shortcuts. And I like the concept that the wishing stone is the shortcut. And Diana accidentally, not knowing that this is the wishing stone, not knowing this is something real, she wishes for Steve Trevor back. And when the stone grants you a wish, it takes something else, steals, kills, and destroys. So it stole this other guy's life, and Steve Trevor's spirit took over his body. That's messed up. And then they even slept together. That's really messed up. Now, I understand what it's trying to show us here. Like when she was a kid and she tried to cheat, that's what she's doing right now. She's missed Steve so much, and they set that up so good that she loves Steve, and all of these decades later, she misses him. She misses him with all of her heart. So it's painful. You don't want her to let go of Steve. You want them to be together. But that is messed up that he took over the body of another guy. And they hardly address it. I feel like that could have been stronger if they addressed a few things like, should we be together? Because, this is a different guy's body. Wait, what about this guy's friends? What about this guy's family? Towards the end, Steve Trevor was even bringing up stuff like, Diana, your powers are going away. Again, because the lie was corrupting her. It was corrupting her moral character. So I do understand those concepts. But when it got to the point where Steve Trevor's like, Diana, for your sake, you gotta renounce this wish. I wish he brought up, what about this guy? What about his friends and his family and his life? And they left all of that unanswered, so it hangs in this weird, or unaddressed. So what it does is it hangs in this awkward space of, I guess we don't talk about that. And so I feel like as much as they have a strong picture of Diana who needs to let go of the lie and take the truth to truly be set free, I feel like they kind of handled it in an awkward way, and it could have been much stronger had they addressed certain issues. It was cool to see Cheetah, interesting, her origin story and how they did that. I thought the performance was done really well. I did like Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord. He was a little bit over the top, but overall he was pretty fun. And I love the idea, the truth will set you free. The lie is the thief that steals, kills, and destroys. So grab a hold of the truth to be set free. When Diana grabbed a hold of the truth, even when it hurt, it truly made her free, and her powers were completely restored. So there's things about it I like, but also this movie was way too long and way too slow of a pace to be that long. And that's probably my biggest problem with the movie. My second biggest problem being it doesn't fit in the continuity to me. Because in Batman vs. Superman, she clearly said, I walked away from mankind for 100 years. Saving people even secretly is not walking away. That's still getting involved. And so that's kind of my issue. But if you see something different and you think it fits in the continuity just fine, let's talk about that in the comments. My other thing is, how is it, other than the fact they thought of this movie later, how is it in this universe, on this earth, you get to Justice League and nobody even goes, hey, you remember that weird time in 1984 where everybody made wishes and they all came true? Wow, that was a weird time, right? Like, it never comes up. So it's like, what a huge event, and it's not written down anywhere in the history books? Curious. Number 6, Shazam! I like this movie because it's not pretentious. It knows what it is. It's not trying to be anything else. It's comfortable in its own skin, and it's fun. That if I don't want to think, I want to laugh, I want to just have fun, this is one of those movies that I could just pop in and watch. I love Zachary Levi. He does a great job as Shazam. One problem with that, though, is I feel like when he's playing adult Billy, and again, he does a great job. It's not really a problem with his acting. I think it's a problem with, why is adult Billy a little bit more immature than kid Billy? Why do they not act exactly the same? So I feel like there's a different maturity level, and I feel like adult Billy is a little bit less mature. Now, you could probably explain that away. It's the excitement of having powers. At the same time, the more I hear it talked about, the more I watch the movie, the more I see it. There is a difference between adult Billy and kid Billy, and I feel like kid Billy is more of an adult than adult Billy, if that makes any sense. But I love the concept. The concept that he carries the name Shazam into our world. That with it, he carries that power into our world. Like Jesus said, carry my name into the world. So we carry his power, we carry his light into the world with us. So I thought that was a great picture. I loved the message of Billy learning you don't hoard power, you share it. He learned what real family was, and he shared his power with his foster brothers and sisters, and that was really cool. And I love that there's 6 of them with an empty throne, so we got Black Adam, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, out there somewhere, and I do look forward to that. Number 5, Aquaman. I do like this movie. I think it's a lot of fun, and it looks great in 4K. Just tossing that out there, but I feel like this movie starts at a C plus B minus range, but by the end of it, it's an A movie. So it goes from a B movie to an A movie as it progresses. Part of that is I do love King Arthur stories, and I love that lore. And they played on his name Arthur, the fact that he is a king, and they really did do the King Arthur storyline. So instead of the sword and the stone, it's the trident from the dead man, and so, you know, only he who is worthy can take it. So I like it because here he is thinking he's not worthy. He's rough, he's gruff, he's a jerk, he's not worthy, he's got his defenses up, he hates the Atlanteans, but you know what he's got to do before he even discovers his mom is alive? He's got to accept his destiny. He's got to accept his self-worth. He's got to forgive those that he hates. Just like Mira hates the surface, and experiencing the surface realizes, wow, okay, I've been judging. I cannot hate. I got to forgive. And so then he has that same experience with Atlantis, learning, oh my gosh, okay, I've held this judgment over them, and they didn't all kill my mother. So it's like this journey to learning his self-worth and his forgiveness, and viewing what he thought was his weakness, the fact that he's human and Atlantean. He thought that was a weakness, and learning to see that as the strength, that he, like Superman, can be the bridge between two worlds. So there's a lot of elements in this movie that I thought were very cool and very well done. I love the action, especially when you get to the end of the movie. Kind of got this great Lord of the Rings feel. So there's a lot of things about this movie that I do enjoy. So it comes in right in the middle at number 5 now. Number 4, Wonder Woman. Oh man. This one used to be higher, right? You guys remember when I kept ranking this at number 2? Blame Zack Snyder's Justice League. But that doesn't diminish my love for this Wonder Woman movie. This Wonder Woman movie, I think, fits perfectly in the continuity of the Snyderverse. You can actually have a great quadrilogy with Wonder Woman, and her character growth fits perfectly. Because you got Man of Steel, BVS, where you first meet Wonder Woman, and she says, I walked away from mankind for 100 years. You get Wonder Woman 1 with a fantastic message, but it would make sense why she's like, you know what, I'm going to chill out now for about 100 years. And then you could go into Justice League as she's snapping back into action, BVS snapping back into action. And so I think it fits great within that character growth. And one of the things that I love about Wonder Woman 1, it's just the message. It's not about what you deserve, it's about what you believe. Which again, it's the whole gospel message. It's not about what we deserve, it's about what we believe. If we believe in Jesus, then we get what we don't deserve, his grace, his love, which is what this movie's about. It's about love. What does mankind deserve? It deserves punishment from the Amazons. It does not deserve the help of Wonder Woman. But what it comes to is what she believes. And falling in love with Steve Trevor, she discovered grace. She discovered love. She discovered it's not one guy like Ares that makes everybody so bad. Everybody battles with dark and light. So we need to nurture the light. We need to nurture the love. And that's what she comes to by the end of this movie, and that's what she believes. So I find that a very powerful message. So Wonder Woman 1 will always be one of my favorite DC movies. Number 3, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. There is no theatrical cut. There is only the Ultimate Edition. This has fallen into number 3 because I'm going to eat crow here. I have had a lot of words about this movie, so here we go. I think Zack Snyder's Justice League made a lot of stuff in this movie worth it. I used to complain about how Doomsday was too soon and too quick, and it's a much better story, but then when you get Justice League and the piece of art that that film is, I feel like it reaches back in time and justifies Doomsday. In fact, one of the last times that I watched Batman v Superman, the revelation hit me. Man of Steel is about him choosing our world. Batman v Superman is about Lex Luthor framing Superman to turn the world that he chose against him. And it's getting into Superman's head, and it's messing with his mind with all this guilt and condemnation because he doesn't know he's being framed by Luthor. What if my actions are bringing about this fire, this death, these explosions? What if what I'm doing is making things worse? I think that's realistic. We probably don't want that because we want the happy, joyful Superman, but I also think this is realistic to a human journey, and Kal-El has grown up among humans. So he stepped out into the light in Man of Steel, and he's accepted his destiny, and now the enemy has risen up to challenge that destiny, and he's got to deal with that, and I like how he deals with it. But what's interesting is, in the end, Lois is his world. Lois reminds him of the good in humanity, and he has faith in humanity. It's like Wonder Woman in choosing love. It's not about what you deserve, it's about what you believe, and that's what Superman finds with Lois. He loves Lois. There is love in humanity, and so he lays his life down for his world, Lois Lane. And when he lays his life down, Lois had all the proof of what Luthor did. Superman's name was cleared, and the world saw that as they feared and hated him, he still died for them to save them from Luthor's monster. And Batman is the picture of humanity in this, who feared Superman, who hated Superman. And when he saw the same thing, that he was duped by Luthor, like everybody else, and he saw Superman's name was truly clear, and this was a good guy, and here Superman laid his life down for the world, it converted him. And so I feel like through Batman, we take the journey with mankind and see how man sees Superman. Some say he's good, some say he's bad, but when he dies for mankind, it changes their perception. And so now the death of Superman becomes the thing that wins the world over, now leading into Zack Snyder's Justice League of what happens to him when he comes back. So there's some interesting things there, but I feel like Zack Snyder's Justice League works backwards for me and takes the stuff that I might have been a little frustrated with Batman vs. Superman and makes me go, I see what you did there, Snyder. I see it now. Number 2, Man of Steel. Oh man, for anything to come in here and knock Man of Steel out of my number 1, wow, that's gotta be a darn good movie, because Man of Steel is freaking epic. One of the best Superman movies, and one of the things that I love about it is Superman's choice. So he didn't know where he fit in with the world. And then Zod shows up. Now he's got to defend the world that has adopted him. But Zod presents him a choice, Krypton or Earth, and he decided he can't be a part of that. You can't just rewrite Earth and kill everything on here to build up Krypton. Superman is born under the new birth. On Krypton, children are born programmed for a certain destiny and purpose. Now we see how corrupting that is. Zod's program is to protect Krypton. Well, now that Krypton is gone, I guess there's no dictate in how to protect Krypton. So he can do any lethal, horrible, ugly thing he wants, including deciding which genes in Krypton are weak and which are strong, so which bloodlines get to live and which bloodlines get to die. So he's taking a God complex in here. And now he comes to Earth. Mankind is nothing compared to Krypton, so wipe them all out. But he also, again, it's like he has no choice. He has to protect Krypton. Superman is free under the new birth. He's not bound to Krypton's destiny of destruction. He's not bound to that darkness. In fact, he can make a choice. And he chose his adopted world as all of Krypton's hopes and dreams live inside of him. And he saves the Earth. My freaking goodness. Every time I want to watch the movie now. So every time I describe the movie this way, I just want to watch it again. I love Man of Steel. Number 1, Zack Snyder's Justice League. This 4-hour epic was just that, epic. This was art. I mean, this used every bit of those 4 hours and developed these characters in astounding ways. I mean, just look at Cyborg, man. Like, I didn't think he was a bad character in the theatrical cut, but now we literally got into Cyborg's head. We saw how he sees and views the world. And we see how powerful he truly is. Everything, without effort, that is digital or machine, bends to his will, which truly gives him access to everything. And we see his heart, and that he helped this poor waitress and her kid and got them some money. And so the point is that we see what's at his fingertips, but we see his character arc to being the self-sacrificing hero. And I love his storyline because he hates his dad, but he's learning to forgive his dad, to love his dad, And the mending of that rift is what is making him a stronger hero as the movie progresses. It's this amazing character arc all the way to the end where he goes inside the mother boxes to separate them, and that's crazy. They turn into those weird looking witches and they're wrapping their arms around him as he's inside the mother box pulling them apart, but those mother boxes became his dad, his mom, and the whole him before he was cyborg, tempting him to that old life so that he wouldn't pull apart the mother boxes, and he had to overcome that temptation. I loved it. I loved Wonder Woman in this movie. They really showed the warrior in her, and it brought a terrific ending to Steppenwolf. I thought it was lame how they defeated Steppenwolf in the theatrical cut. And this one, you got Aquaman like stabbing him with a trident, Superman punching him through the portal, and then Wonder Woman leaps up and lops off the dude's head. Holy freaking monkey alive. It's that fierce warrior in Wonder Woman that we really get to see in this movie. And there's so much of that was just so incredibly good. The resurrection of Superman, taking that story of he chose Earth, Lex Luthor turned the Earth against him, all the way to he's resurrected, and he hears the voice of Jor-El and Jonathan speaking to him, saying, "Your heart has been tested, but you have given them hope." Jonathan and Jor-El talking about how they loved their son, and then saying, "Go and love the world as you have been loved." It's like this renewal of his mandate. And so we see him choosing that over the world. But then you have the second nightmare vision. And by the second nightmare vision, I mean the one that Cyborg got when bringing Superman back from the dead, where he saw all that death and destruction, and he went, "No." And Barry went, "Go." And so he did the whole Flash thing and to charge the mother box. And speaking of the Flash, there are no words for how awesome it was when he ran faster than the speed of light and turned back time and saved them all. My gosh, I mean, it took everything and used that 4 hours well and made it so compelling. It was a story well told that you couldn't have without what BVS and Man of Steel set up. So if you want to watch it as a trilogy, Man of Steel, BVS, and Zack Snyder's Justice League is a great DC trilogy. You could do a quadrilogy and throw Wonder Woman in there. It works. It's incredible. So I love how this movie really took things to the next level. And like I said, Jared Leto's Joker was amazing. It had a great setup for a Justice League 2. It effectively ended this story in this movie and brought up all these points and laid the groundwork for a sequel that could just be incredible. I would love it if we restore the Snyderverse and get a Justice League 2, because I like what this movie set up. I like the cliffhanger. I want to see more of that Jared Leto Joker. My gosh. So how would you rank all of these DC movies worst to best? Let's do that in the comments. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on how you would rank these movies. While you're doing that, hit that subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Hit that bell by the subscribe button so you're notified for my next movie review, ranking video, theological analysis, or anything else I do here. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.